I'm here at the Metropolitan Hotel here with Mr. Marilyn Manson. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. So we're here to basically talk about your new album, Born Villain, which comes out on the 1st of May. Is there a concept to it?
Well, I think mostly it's about redemption. And for me, I had to really realize that I wasn't happy with the way my life was going, and in the past 4 or 5 years before making this record. And I had to I just had to challenge myself to be better at who I am. And, a lot of things that were influencing it were, 2 books, Macbeth and Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire. But the concept behind it, I would say, solidly is about confidence and about strength in not being afraid to just do what you want to do, which is how I started in the first place.
So we're going back to the old school.
Yeah, without trying to sound like I used to or trying to be who I used to be. I just needed to feel the same way that I felt when I wanted to make music in the first place, realizing that the whole point of starting a rock band or being an artist of any sort or doing anything that makes you feel excited is so that when you do it at the end of the night, when you go to sleep, you feel satisfied. And I realized that I wasn't satisfied. Now, I'll never be content because I always want to be better, but feeling unsatisfied is like vomiting after dinner every night, and I'm not like that. So.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned a return to the old school, because I read somewhere that Twiggy said that it was like a return to, more punk rock, Mechanical Animals. Would you say that's pretty accurate, or would you say it's kind of got that rawness of your even older material?
Well, I think it's completely unafraid to be what it is. So that probably being what I would say punk rock in this sense is. I stuck with my gut, didn't second guess anything. Twiggy, I didn't try to get him to do ideas that I would have, so he played, and I tried to excite him as a producer or as a songwriter collaborator to do what he does best. And then there would be ideas that I might have, so I spent a good portion of the year figuring out how to utilize the tools and limitations that I had. I am living in a place where I have paints and place to paint, music, instruments, microphone, a bed, and my books and my movies. Yeah. So if I had an idea that was a guitar part, so I learned how to play guitar. So I played some guitar on this record, that more than I have in the past, but it was just more about being able to communicate your ideas with your limitations. If you give me a pencil, I'll write something or draw a picture. If you give me a guitar, I'll beat you with it or play a song. Give me whatever, you have to improvise.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's punk rock.
Okay. No Reflection was the first morsel that we heard from your forthcoming album. Why did you specifically choose to release that track as a single? Is it more radio friendly of all the tracks on the album?
I don't think it's necessarily the radio friendly song as much as it is. If it were a movie, that would be like it would be a trailer essentially. I think it represents what you might get from the record, but I don't think it's necessarily the song that everyone who listens to radio or something like that. I think there's a place for everything in music, and it became a little bit diluted to me when you're an artist and then your art gets turned into a product and where it belongs, where it goes, and all those sorts of things, if it affects how you write. So No Reflection, I think, to me, I love the song. I love all the songs, or I wouldn't put them on the record, but that song, to me, wasn't chosen to be a radio hit or something of that nature. It was chosen to be, this is what you should expect from the record.
Okay.
I think the next song would either be a song called Pistol Whipped or Slow Motion. And either one of those might be taken differently on radio. But I think this is a record that is meant to make people feel something. And instead of making people feel what I'm feeling, I want people to be excited and feel what they want to feel. It's a record that I would put on. And it's this type of record that, you put on, you're going to fornicate or fight or do something that is exciting in one way or another.
You're provoking reactions again.
Well, I'm just trying to do what I do best.
Okay.
Cause confusion.
So this is your first release via your label on Cooking Vinyl.
Yep.
Do you feel you have a lot more freedom and autonomy since leaving Interscope?
Well, I never was restricted from what I could do, but once I turned it over to Interscope, what they did with it wasn't what I always wanted. In fact, most of the time it wasn't what I wanted. Cooking Vinyl approached me, which makes the most sense. It's like a relationship with anything. You're attracted to something because of what it is, and you want it to be what it is. If you get in a relationship with someone, I've tried to explain to girls that I've been in relationships with, it's like, I like this part about you. Just continue. Just repeat this every day, and I'll be totally happy. And that is what I've been given, a situation where I've been allowed to feel like my strengths are my strengths, and that they can take them and make them something that everyone can see. Okay. And if people love it, they love it. If they don't, they hate it. And that's what I've always been, something that is a lightning rod.
Now, I've seen you on many, many occasions over the years, and I just want to specifically focus on festivals. The first time I saw you at a festival was Reading 1997, and to date, that is one of the best performances I've ever seen in terms of live shows. And then I saw you at Download 2009, and it's memorable for many different reasons. How do you feel about that particular show, and how will Sonisphere this summer be any different?
I never watched my live performances, and I don't really base what I do on, what people's reviews and things like that. What I know is that it's my job to make people in the audience enjoy what I'm doing, and I think this tour, now that I've had the chance to sharpen my fangs and get back into the mode of doing what I do best, I think it will be far more of a return to the things that I enjoy doing best, like I did on Mechanical Animals and Golden Age of Grotesque, where it's got far more than just a simple punk rock show, but it's also completely reckless and unexpected, whatever's going to happen. And I like to create an environment, which I will, where it's going to be filled with a lot of theatrical elements, but I want to make it so that it's a structure that I can be a tornado inside of. So I'm not into really Broadway-style stage things like the Lady Gaga or Cher or something like that, or whatever you want to make it. But the thing that I like doing best, where I have ideas and I have them all gathered together like tools. It's like a paint set, and I can just take them when I want to. So it's going to be probably, I think that girls should either buy Kleenexes or new panties. When they're done, they're going to cry from one end to the other.
They're going to leak one way or another.
There will be blood.
Lovely. Well, on that note, Marilyn Manson, it's been lovely talking to you today.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you this summer.
Well, me too.